Alright guys, Coach Dan back with you. We've been covering speed all week. First thing we covered early in the week was a little bit of foot positioning to help you guys get a better jump on stolen bases. Really trying to help you guys increase your stolen base percentage. Next video we looked at was more the global running aspect. How to maintain a good, strong, explosive power line so you guys are running tall instead of running down low like most ball players do. And then we looked at how you drive your knee up in the air and explosively drive your foot back down to the ground to propel your body forward. That basic physics lesson where you have to produce force backwards in order to propel your body forward. Now, for you guys, coaches out there, this is really how you put it all into play. In-season speed training is probably the biggest speed question I get. How do we stay in season, keep everything moving along in the right direction, and not wear our ball players down? So here we go. We're going to run through it real quick. What I want you to do is think about every ball player on your team, from your pitchers to your catchers, your corner infielders, your middle infielders, and your outfielders. Think about how many sprints they run on any given day and during any given week. Okay? We want everybody to run the same number. You're not quite following me on that. I can see it already. The numbers that we're looking for. If your pitchers give up a lot of fly balls, a lot of outfield outs, and your outfielders are doing a lot of sprints, they don't need to work as much on the sprints as the rest of the team does, because they're already getting their sprint work. You would think, well, they need to work on it more because they're involved more. Well, they're getting their sprint training in the games. Every time they sprint after a baseball, they're getting sprint training. So we need to focus on the guys who aren't getting that training. If your pitchers give up a lot of ground ball outs and your middle infielders are sprinting all over the diamond, they don't need to do as much. It depends on your pitchers, it depends on the opposing team's hitters, where they're putting the ball into play as to how much sprint work each player on your team is going to have to do. Now typically your corner infielders, first and third base, your pitchers, and your catchers are going to be the ones who don't get a whole lot of sprint work in game situations. So we're going to have to get them to do more sprints than everybody else on the team. Kind of seems unfair, but we're really trying to average things out. So let's just say for round numbers, your outfielders all get 10 attempts or 10 sprints per game, including their attempts in the field as well as their sprints out of the batter's box down to first base. Any sprint we're going to count. So let's say the outfielders get 10. Your middle infielders get 6. Well, your middle infielders need to make up 4 sprints. Well, what if your third baseman gets 3? He needs to make up 7 sprints. Your first baseman, your pitcher, your catcher only get 1 or 2 sprints. Well, they need to make up 8 or 9 sprints at the end of the day. So you can see how we're putting it all together so that everybody on the team gets the same amount of sprint work. That way we're not going to break down the outfielders who have already done 10 sprints by making them do an additional 10. That'll break them down. That'll actually end up slowing them down. So we just want the rest of the team to catch up in their sprint work. And when I say sprint work, I don't mean, okay guys, line up on the line and sprint to center field. I mean, get in your fielding position, take a ground ball, let's say you're third baseman, take a ground ball, fire the ball to first, and sprint across the diamond and follow your throw. That way it's more game specific. They're fielding a ball, making a throw, and sprinting out of their throwing position. Pitchers working on the PFP. Field a bunt, throw to first, follow your throw, sprint down after it. Catchers, again, field a bunt, sprint to first base. Let's get those corners and catchers back in, put them in the batter's box. Take 3 cuts in batting practice. After your third swing, sprint down to first base. Really getting as game specific as possible. Not just running for the sake of running, but doing a baseball-specific activity, something that you do in a game situation, and following that up with an explosive sprint. What that's going to do is that's going to really get the guys fired up, get them a little bit more involved in what you're doing, and it's going to build up their game endurance, so that when the summertime comes and these guys are practicing with one team, then they've got a game with another team, and then they're going to the cages afterwards, and we're playing 7, 8, 9 hours of baseball in a day, you can really break down and wear down at the end of the day. Including game-specific sprint work and keeping them more engaged in the activity is going to keep them mentally and physically sharper and better able to handle those long days during the hot summer baseball. So I hope that helps clarify some things for you. I'm sure it created some more questions for you. So fire away with your questions. Let me know how I can help clarify that so that we can get your guys as fast as possible all season long.